What's up, sports bettors? It's the first football game of the year. Get ready to get those Corona lights out. Let's get into the best bets. What are the best bets on PrizePicks? So I'm going to be looking at PrizePicks. And again, PrizePicks is a really fascinating platform. I've kind of gone through the math in other videos, right? The purpose of the OddsJam YouTube is to be unlike other sports betting YouTubes where everything is data driven, math driven, kind of explaining to you how do sportsbooks actually make money and then how do you kind of flip that on them to make money. So the way that PrizePicks works, right, is any two picks you select, you're always getting the same payout. 20 to win, 40 in profit. 20 to win 60, but that is misleading, okay? It's 20 to win 40 in profit. So that's just plus 200 odds, right? So we've kind of gone through the math before, but because you have to win 1 out of 3 PrizePicks entries, because you're getting plus 200 odds, so let's say you bet $100, you win 200, you lose 100, you lose 100. If you're winning a third of the time, then you're breaking even. So your goal as a sharp bettor is to win over a third of the time on your 2-pick power plays. So we've kind of reverse engineered the math behind PrizePicks payouts in essentially for any 2-pick power play, you're getting minus 137 juice, which you can see right here, right? For any player prop, it's minus 137 juice for a 2-pick power play. Now for a 5-pick power play, it's minus 119. So the juice on PrizePicks is actually lower, right? It's lower for a 5-pick flex play, right? It's kind of same with underdog, right? Minus 137. For a 5-pick, it's minus 122. And then you can kind of see on sportsbooks, the juice is lower, right? Bet online right here is minus 114. PrizePicks and Underdog are minus 137, which is why these companies manage to make good money, right? So what you have to do as a sharp bettor is kind of be like, okay, I know how PrizePicks works, right? They won't vary the payouts depending on if I select the over or the under. So I need to find bets that where, depending on what I'm placing, whether it's a 5-pick power play, a 2-pick power play, where I'm getting better odds, better implied odds than minus 137, right? So an example of a great bet I found was actually from the OddsJam arbitrage betting tool, right? So we can actually check out the odds very briefly for what are the odds for the NFL game tonight. So if we go to the Rams game, we can kind of click on it, and obviously sportsbooks vary from state to state, but the Rams, defending Super Bowl champs at home and dogs, maybe you're a fan of it. I don't have a money line play, but you can see kind of across the betting market, OddsJam has real-time odds from, a lot of sports books. The Rams are best offered at plus 120. Best price you can get on the Bills is minus 125 on Coolbet. I think that's a Canadian sports book, right? So what OddsJam does is it really takes all this data, all these lines from PrizePicks, and scans them to find value in the odds, right? Where are the line discrepancies? And this bet is so insane, it's so insanely good, so I really hope you're on it, okay? Now, this is a 2-pick power play, so no 5 picks for the NFL. But for my 2-pick power play, on the over, for player receptions, I'm taking Ben over 1.5 receptions at minus 137, implied odds on PrizePicks. So arbitrage, which you can see is, kind of right here, this is an arbitrage bet, right? All arbitrage means is like you can place a bet on the over on one sportsbook, the under on another sportsbook, and make a risk-free profit. That is arbitrage betting. Bet the over here, bet the under there, and because all these sportsbooks have different lines because they want to be unique, you can make risk-free money when sportsbooks screw up. And it doesn't happen often, but of course OddsJam is, constantly scanning the entire sports betting market to try to find these. And of course, the returns typically, it's not like you get, 100% ARBs. I just made, $1,000 in ARB. Typically, it's like 1%, 2%. But hey, 1% over the course of a week, if you hit an ARB every single day, that's a 7% return in a week. That's not terrible, right? So it's kind of a good way to build your bankroll and make easy money sports betting, although the returns are going to be limited. But what arbitrage also means, right, is you can place a bet is if you can make risk-free money betting on equal and opposite outcomes, then by definition, right, that's a market inefficiency, right? It's a market inefficiency. So one of these bets has to be profitable. By definition, one bet has to be profitable if you could make risk-free money betting on both. So one of these bets has to be positive EV, right? Positive EV just means mathematically profitable. You never know in the future if a bet's going to win, right? Future is uncertain. That's why there are odds for games. That's why we bet on them. You never know if a bet's going to win, which is why a terrible bet can still win and an amazing bet, an amazingly profitable bet can still lose, right? But if you're placing profitable bets over the course of the long run, you'll make money, right? It's like if you place these crazy 10-leg parlays every night, you'll hit one every once in a while, but you'll lose money overall because you're paying so much vig. So what you can see here is we're using this to kind of see a huge line discrepancy on PrizePicks. It's like, wow, Betfred is pricing this at minus 195, a more efficient betting market, a sports book. Underdog, you can see they have the over-under at 2. And then you can see the over-under on most sports books is 2.5, right? Betfred has the over 1.5 at minus 195, the over 2.5 at plus 140. So obviously, because his total receptions is so low, like the probability he ends up with exactly 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 receptions is like pretty big. It's probably like 80%, 90% of the distribution, right? It's like a big percentage. So the jump from 1.5 to 2.5 is massive. In all of the sports books, right, they're setting his receptions at 2.5. And that's a massive jump, minus 195 to plus 140. So this is a bet we want to be all over, okay? So I ended up hitting it, and I paired it with an MLB prop, which you can see right here. If I zoom in, if PrizePicks loads, we have over 1.5 receptions, and then I'm taking the nerfy bet in Yankees Twins. Let's make money.